Hi, everybody. How are you? So good to see so many people here. Like, it's amazing. I'm Melody Kane. I am an international DJ, a DJ on BBC Radio 1 Extra. My journey kind of started in a tiny little place that nobody's probably ever heard of. It's called Amring. It's a little village down on the Sussex coast, which is where I was born. And I grew up there till I was about 14. There was no people of color at all. There was like no representations of myself, no representations of my mum, who's Jamaican. So I grew up just not understanding what it means to be black. My father's white, and I grew up not even really understanding what it means to be mixed race or to have a black mum, because unfortunately my mum suffered from extreme bipolar due to the pressures of where we grew up and where we were living. She came over from Jamaica when she was about 13. And yeah, so my upbringing was really, now I look back on it, I realize that it was sheltered from what was really going on. So I used to ride my bike around the streets and there'd be people that would shout at me half-caste, and I didn't even know what it meant at the time because I was so young. So unfortunately, when I was 14, my mum had quite an extreme breakdown. So I ended up leaving the house, myself and my brother, and we went to live with my dad, who lived in a place called Worthing, which probably no one's ever heard of either, but it's an awful place.
I have family there.
Have you heard of Worthing? Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's just old people and sea, and that's about it. Again, no black people. And again, that was quite a turbulent situation because my dad's new partner didn't, really take to myself and my brother. So really from the age of like 14 to 17, I kind of bounced around places to live. So when I was 17, that's when I kind of really discovered my love for music and really knew in my heart that I wanted to be a DJ. My brother was the person that introduced hip-hop to me. He used to play De La Soul albums. He introduced me to House Party. He was, really influential in terms of music at that time. And when I was 17, I met a boy, as we do, who I thought was this amazing man. And I ended up getting pregnant, and I had my daughter the day before I was 19. So I ended up being a single mum because he left. And so from the age of 19, I basically brought my daughter up by myself. Now, such a random situation. This is why I really believe that everything happens in the world for a reason. I ended up on a reality show called Joe Millionaire. You've probably never heard of it. It was like one of those first ever reality show. And I don't even know how I applied or what happened. I can't actually remember, but I think I saw an advert. I thought it sounded fun. It just said like, loads of girls come together. We're going to take you away. You're going to have loads of fun. It's going to be great. So I applied to go on this show, randomly got in. We all went over to Spain. And they said to us, this guy that you're going to meet is a millionaire. You've got to it was just like this really awful dating show. But we didn't realize, we thought we were going for a party. And then it turned out we had to vie for these affections of this guy. Anyway, it was so awful. And basically, there was myself and two other girls of color. The guy was actually a black guy, and he kicked all three of us off first. So the first elimination was 3 girls, and all 3 of us went home. But the reason I tell you that story is because I met a girl there, one of the other black girls, and we became friends, and she had family in Atlanta, so she invited me to go over with her to Atlanta and stay with her sister. And that was really the trip that I would say changed my path, or began my path. I had never really been around hip-hop culture like that. I went to a club in Atlanta, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. I went into this club, and from the DJ to the way that everybody was dancing to the culture. I was just mesmerized. And I ended up meeting LL Cool J. So random. I don't even know how I got in the VIP. This was back in my blagging days. I used to sometimes turn up to clubs when I didn't have any money and say to the guy on the door, "Oh yeah, I'm the dancer for the night." And like blag my way in. I feel like my hustle used to be really good. And somehow got into the VIP, spoke to LL Cool J randomly, and I'll just never forget it because he asked me what I did. I told him that I was in sales. I basically at the time was working 3 jobs to support myself and my daughter. And he said, "Well, is that what you want to do?" And I said, "No, I want to be a DJ." And he said, "Well, why don't you just do it?" And it was such a small thing that he said, but it had such an impact on me that when I went home, I actually quit my job. And I decided to go on benefits, and for a year I just practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced until I felt like I had honed my skills. And I've been a full-time DJ now about 13 years, yeah. The journey is just, I really believe in the fact that the universe has just created my path before me, and I followed it. So around 10 years ago I moved to London to really pursue my dream. I'd always loved One Extra. That's something that I'd listened to from the day that it launched. And it'd always been my dream to be a DJ on One Extra for years and years. I just used to send them mixes. I used to do mixes just relentlessly. Just everyone would say, "Why don't you try other stations? They're not giving you a shot to be on there." And I'd say, "No, like that's the station that I want to be on." So ended up being a DJ on One Extra eventually. It's taken me a long time, a very, very long time. And within that journey of DJing for 10 years, just traveled all over the world. When I first came to London, I started a collective called Female DJ Takeover, which was trying to bring together female DJs. Because at the time when I first came here, there didn't really seem to be any prevalent female DJs. There were a few like Nikki Beatnik and She Devil and Caper, who's still doing her thing now. But there was amazing DJs that I didn't really feel were getting a shine, so I wanted them to collectively come together. We did some great things. We went to Croatia, we did a tour of the UK, and that just ran its course. But what I realized is later on down my journey that I've always had a problem with my weight. I've always struggled with my weight, which has always affected my mental health, so my well-being. And I used to go to fitness classes and I'd feel that they weren't very inclusive, and I'd just feel like everyone there was always amazing, and I'd feel quite uncomfortable with myself within those classes. So stemming from that, I've started a movement called No Cane, No Gain, which is basically a fitness class where I DJ, have 2 trainers, and it's just a really amazing inclusive class that's been running for over a year now. It's all different fitness abilities, it's all different ages, and we've just signed up to move it forward with Reebok, so that's really, really exciting.
Can you share links so I can share with everybody as well then?
Yes, of course. Yes, and you're all welcome. Please come down. Like, you'll really enjoy it. It's, it's an amazing class, and we're working on the health and well-being side of it as well, the mental health side of it, which is something that I realized that I have needed to address, which has been holding me back. And just to finish, I went vegan about 5 years ago, and for me that was something that has really, about 4 years ago, that's something that's really helped me with my clarity and with my headspace and just the way that I operate on a day-to-day basis. And one thing that I would always hear from people is saying that when they travel, people in busy jobs, they don't know where to go and eat, or they don't know what to eat. So I've just partnered with a company, Vegan Travel Guide, and that's basically, we travel around the world and find different vegan and review different amazing places for us to eat. So we're having our big launch of that in September, so look out for that as well.